The floor plates are of symmetrical rhombus layout. Each level consists of two, the upper smaller, the lower bigger. The center of mass of each level lies within the axis of the two floor plates, more towards the bigger plate. When the acceleration of forces vertically for all parts of the structures, then the structure's center of gravity is coincident with the structure's center of mass. This is ultimately true because the acceleration of forces varies only little along Earth's surface and decreases in magnitude only slightly with altitude. When the levels are stacked vertically and tilted, the center of gravity of the whole current form lies at the axis created by the linear center of masses of each level. When gravity acts on the center of mass of the current form, torque is created. Torque is the turning or twisting action on a body about a rotation axis due to the active forces. Here means the gravitational pull. The perpendicular distance between the rotational axis and the extended line running through the forces are the line of action, known as the moment arm. When acting on the basis of the center of mass of the form, it will be known as the overturning moment. When the two forms are stacked vertically, but of opposite sides, created perceptive balance, but to prove it physically requires a further understanding of the state of equilibrium. For state of equilibrium to be achieved in a structure, all vector sums of external forces act on it, the vector sum of all external torques that act on it measured about the center of mass, and the linear momentum of it, all must be zero. When placing the axis of center of mass between the two forms, the axis between the two torques must also intersect with it to create the center of mass of the whole tower. Hence, the center of mass for the whole tower block must be sustained by the structural stability of the core. Now, the whole tower block is considered as the one new entity, and taking gravitational force into hand, created new moment of torque or torsion and needed a counter moment to balance it at the base. Thus, the structural footing solution of the inclined state is justified, which also led to the layout of the basement car park as well. Each floor plate carries load, and the load are distributed evenly to the primary core. Is the tower to be fully glass facade like any typical high-rise typologies? The wind load distribution on the facade will be of such. Firstly, at the shortest corner, wind load impact is very minimal. While at the other corner, the wind load impact is also just manageable. When the wind hits the facade bluntly, that is where the biggest wind load distribution of the towers occurs. First option was to retreat the facade so that the wind can be distributed along the corridor. This also provided sufficient space for high-density movement. The second option is to add stiffener to strengthen the tower block where it receives the highest impact of wind load distribution, as well as to compensate the overall rolling of